Around 2 years ago, I made a video about a fan-made season of Death Battle using only internet characters. And that video is dog water. Please do not watch it. And because that I believe it's bad, I want to make it good. Or at least decent. Now obviously there's going to be a few changes from that first video. So in that first video, I made it a 20 episode season because that's what I liked back then. However, the normal season nowadays is 12 because, the independent era wants an episode once every month. So I will be doing 12 episodes, which is honestly a lot easier for me. And another thing, I am not allowing myself to use any matchups from that video, and as a bonus, any matchups from my top 10 favorite matchups video. I'll just put a list of those on screen right now. Did you pause to read it? No? Well, you probably should have. Anyways, besides that, there's nothing else I really need to say. So, let's just get on to the January episode.
Oh man, I thought this was gonna suck! That was awesome!
Let's start the season off with one of the most random matchups you probably will ever hear in your life. Kaou versus Jeffy, GoAnimate versus Super Mario Logan. Now, I'm aware SML is very, very controversial on its own and in a versus sense. For obvious reasons, Jeffy alone, because of how he's accused of being a stereotype. I do understand why people don't want SML in versus, but I've heard some people say that it doesn't work in versus, which is something I very much disagree with as someone who's been watching it for over a decade. That's just blatantly wrong. And this is just kind of a matchup that I do like. Mostly, because of how let's just look at them. Let's go over the connections. They are two yellow-shirted brats who cause a bunch of mischief and schemes to get what they want, and usually by the end of it, they'll end up getting a scolding. A contrast is that Jeffy usually gets away with what he does, meanwhile Kaou doesn't. GoAnimated versus sounds very hilarious. Come on. And, I'm aware this is not either's most popular opponent. Jeffy has Purple Shep, but that was in the other video, so I can't include it. And Kaou has the Hated Child from Gacha Life, which, it's got the GoAnimate versus Gacha Life in it. But I like this one more because of, bias. And I think there's neat interaction potential. Because, depending on how you characterize Kaou, he can be a stupid brat, or the Itzak version of the character where he's smart but just has to live with Boris. If you know, you know. And I think that version could contrast well with Jeffy's pure idiocy. Now, this obviously has the problem, besides SML, that what do you give Kaou? There are many GoAnimate Kaou gets grounded, or whatever he's in, that it'd be near impossible to scale. But again, if you're using just the Itzak version, it kind of ruins the but I think it's in an odd place, but I like it regardless, and let's be real, this is not gonna happen. Also, in terms of the animation, I believe that this is a death battle that should be used in GoAnimate. Yes, a GoAnimate animated death battle, that would be hilarious. While Kaou obviously gets his text-to-speech voice, meanwhile, Jeffy gets actual voice lines. I don't know if they'd attempt to reach out to any GoAnimate creators, or someone on the team just get the GoAnimate account. Well, not GoAnimate, Rapper Offline or Flash team, since that's the only thing you can really use the Kaou you love, because they got rid of that back in 2017 or 18. I don't know. Yeah. In terms of who wins is a pretty interesting story. I'm honestly leaning on the side of Kaou because of one simple thing: go animate logic. And if you don't know what that is, it allows the person to do whatever the hell they want for no real reason. And I don't really imagine a way Jeffy can get around that. So I am going to have to give this to Caitlin. So yeah, that's that. I like the matchup, despite, how weird and admittedly it uses a very controversial character. But, it's just one of those things. Let's just move on. For the next episode, we have Red Guy versus Charlie, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared versus Smiling Friends. The connections are chill characters who hang out with a bunch of energized people, and they usually have to be the voice of reason. This is just one of those matchups with two characters who vibe really, really well together, and the serious combination is also just moi. And yeah. I'm aware that the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared trio versus the Smiling Friends exists too, but that comes with across with the problems of a 3v4, and characters like Pim don't fight, and you can't have the Smiling Friends without Pim. He's one of the two main characters. But so I think just reducing it to this makes the most sense. You could have a funny bit in the analysis where Boomstick finds out how horrific Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is, and he's horrified because he showed it to his daughter because he thought it was a puppet show, and he immediately runs to stop it. And then you have a bit with Wiz for a bit, and then Boomstick comes back. Don't know if you get it to stop, but that's just a funny bit. In terms of how the fight would go, I honestly do not know. I think it's definitely a lot more of a street deer fight, because these guys aren't really known for cosmic feats. So have it say take place in the forest or whatever. I think that's a good enough atmosphere that fits these both fairly well. And using the environment around them. In terms of who I think wins, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Charlie, unfortunately. I love Charlie, but I'm more of a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared fan than a Smiling Friends fan. But mostly because of the fact of how he's went to hell and back. I think that plays a pretty big part in why I think he wins. And in terms of the death, you could have the fight end up near a lake, and say Red Guy knocks Charlie over and attempts to pick him up, but then Charlie kicks him in the shin, and then makes Red Guy drop him, and then he pushes Red Guy in, to reference the TV show where Red Guy's ID tells him that he dies in the lake. I think that'd be a pretty decent nod to the actual show. And you can have this bit where my idea wasn't right. Next. And he just barely reacts to being dead. Meanwhile, Charlie, he realizes that he's just killed a man, and he's likely going to get fired. This is an episode I believe should be hand-drawn, and to be honest, I would not be surprised if they managed to get both official voice actors in here. It seems like something they'd be very, very willing to do.
Yes. And
So, yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
Dogs fucking pizzas.
He can't have said that.
Okay, something I should mention. A good half of these matchups are a pretty good contender for the funniest episode of all time if they happened. And this is including it. What matchup is it? Why, it's Ted versus Charlie the drunk guinea pig. Ted versus Smosh. The main connections are two fuzzy creatures that are alive and speak human language, that are alcoholics and very, very, full of themselves. What is there to explain about this matchup? It's Ted versus Charlie the drunk guinea pig. Like, it's just easily one of the funniest matchups you could probably ever do. And, like, interaction potential alone. So you could have so the fight starts, say, the fighting over the last beer. Cause like there's the bit of in the Ted movie where Ted and John are fighting, of how Ted is just jumping on him and just throwing punches. You could have that with Charlie against Ted, and it would be very funny. Like, this whole thing just feels like slapstick for the sake of slapstick. Kind of. Not really slapstick, but that. Yeah, you get it. Now, again, there's not really that much for animation potential. It's it's pretty much just the scene from Ted that I said earlier. It's practically just that, except with a bloody guinea pig running around. I mean, I honestly have no idea what else I can really say. I guess in terms of who wins, I've heard it's dependent on scaling. I heard that if you don't give Charlie the Ask Charlie stuff, that Ted wins, but if you do, then Charlie wins. So it kind of depends. I mean, a Ted W is awesome. It's because I really like Ted, but you can't be shocked either way. In terms of the death, I guess, I don't know, Ted puts him in the microwave? I don't know. Just I don't know. But the point is, after they've killed each other, the winner has to drink the beer that they fought for, okay? Otherwise, what's the point? It's just a contender for funniest episode of all time. In terms of the animation, I honestly have no idea. I don't imagine it being in 3D. Obviously, they don't have the budget for a live action. But so I guess hand drawn. I honestly have no idea. Yeah. Let's just move on.
The fuck is wrong with you?
We have yet another contender for funniest episode of all time. Asdov movie versus Cyanide and Happiness. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, obviously, is it just one guy from each side? Which, probably. I'd probably. It's just like the average as a movie guy versus the average Cyanide and Happiness guy. I'd assume it'd be that too. But the connections are simple. They're just random, wacky, clip shows on the internet that focus on making you laugh. That's about it. In terms of animation potential, I honestly don't really know. I guess you can like have it start being like a bit pathetic, like having like a cat fight or something. But I mean, then like obviously you have to show like the very, very, very interesting durability, I guess you could say. Durability? It's weird. It's weird. I don't have a lot to say here, honestly. In terms of who wins, I've heard it's Cyanide and Happiness. I don't really know how a death can go, but yeah, I guess they're like one of the Cyanide and Happiness guy just stabs the Out of the Movie guy in the head, and then he just falls and dies. I know the Out of the Movie guys have that the guys that are like, let's go gambling, as a more popular opponent now, but I just have more bias for this because like they just vibe well together for obvious reasons. I don't have much else to say, I guess, so I'll just go on to the next thing.
Hey, I've only been here a few minutes. What's going on?
Okay, so this next one is my own original matchup. Now, I know you're thinking, no, it's not Yin Yang versus Good Cop / Bad Cop, because I made that in the other one and in my top 10 one, so it's not viable here. Now, you may be wondering, what other matchups have you made? Well, here's my arguably more popular matchup. Master Shake, Frylock, and Meatwad versus Orange Paired Midget Apple. Aquatine Hunger Force versus Annoying Orange. The connections are trios of food where the main person is, well, kind of a moron and gets everyone into dumb situations. There's a smarter member who tries to get people out of the situations, and there's a smaller red one. And junk food versus healthy food. Now, this matchup is a 3v3, something that Death Battle has never done. So they kind of have to go in for 3 separate characters each. So I do imagine this being a lengthier episode in both analysis and the fight. And I really think you can do a bunch of the wacky, stupid things that both series have done, because they've all pulled like some random weapon out of nowhere at some point somehow. Like I can imagine Midget Apple's monster truck to show up at some point. Like I can imagine Wiz like having a similar reaction to an Annoying Orange as he did with SpongeBob, because I watched SpongeBob as Aquaman earlier today, and it's the most expressive Wiz has ever been, honestly. So, like, I kind of wish we had more of that. Now, for the animation potential, you could have them all like pulling a bunch of random weapons out of nowhere, like Orange's TNT, Little Apple's monster truck, like I said earlier. You could use Meatwad's shape-shifting abilities in there somehow, and Frylock's many abilities in tech. In terms of who wins, it's gonna be the kitchen crew because of how like they're more competent as a team and have done wackier things. Now I could see them taking down Pear, but not at a death. Like say Frylock just like somehow manages to launch him in the air. But how would they kill the teens? Simple. Orange uses a bunch of TNT on Shake and Frylock, and because that wouldn't really work on Meatwad, because he's been shown to be a bunch of pieces before Little Apple's appetite. Like, the guy has eaten an entire watermelon in one bite. Meatwad is not getting around that. So yeah. And like at the end you could have Pear fall back down on the ground. Now you're probably wondering, why do I believe the kitchen crew wins? Well, again, they're more competent as a team because Orange cooperates with his friends, unlike Shake. So that's a pretty big factor. And also, the kitchen crew have definitely survived a lot other things. And also, not to mention, if we're including Ask Orange in this, you could argue that they have the power of the comment section. The power of the comment section. Yeah, the power of the bloody comment section. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say, so let's just move on.
I'm ready for bed.
This next one is kind of unique in its own way. Well, not really unique, it's just one of those matches that'll click with everyone. Probably. The Coon from South Park versus Batcoon from H2O Delirious. The connections are superhero raccoons. That's about it, but that's all that you really need. The banner potential between these two is honestly amazing, especially when you consider that it's Cartman versus Delirious. And, I think that the fight should start with them both encountering each other and thinking that they're a knockoff of the other, and then the fight starts from there. This is another one of those fights that can look pretty pathetic when you consider who the combatants are, but, yeah. Now, obviously, this episode has to be one of the funniest things. I mean, it's a South Park and H2O Delirious matchup. Like, it thrives off of comedy. Like, maybe you have Batcoon, like, smack the Coon in the face, and because it's Cartman, he's like, yeah. Because that's a Cartman thing. Obviously. Now, I could see, like, everyone else in the city just looking at these two thinking, what the hell are they doing? Because, like, they're not really the most respected superheroes out there. Now, in terms of who wins, it's actually a lot more complicated than you think, believe it or not. Because, like, the Coon is just Cartman. And a lot of big things people give Cartman is Cthulhu. So if you give the Coon Cthulhu, what can the Batcoon even do? However, Batcoon is technically a skin or model in Gmod and GTA. More specifically Gmod. And if we're giving Batcoon Gmod scaling or weapons, he has a gun that can just erase Cthulhu from existence. Yeah. So, who wins? If you give Carbon Cthulhu and don't give Batcoon Gmod scaling, then I don't see a way Batcoon could counter that. If you do give him Gmod scaling, then yeah, the thing I just said. Now, what about if you don't give either of them the things I just said? I imagine it being a Batcoon W, but you know, I'm just saying the possibility is there, and it would honestly be really, really funny. Like, you know what? The death should just be like Batcoon erases Cthulhu, and the Coon is on Cthulhu's shoulder, so he just falls to his death. And Batcoon starts celebrating at like a good 5 to 10 seconds, and then after a while he realizes, wait, I'm pretty sure that was a child, and then he just immediately flees, because, you know, he doesn't want to get in trouble for that. Fun matchup, very surprising in debate. So yeah, that's that.